Hello, everybody. Today we are going to be ranking Star Wars villains by how scary they are, and this video is going to be uh by Jedward. So thank you for the video idea. And thank you. Shout out to Jedward, a Star Wars creator. Big fan of him. Big fan of Star Wars and all. So let's get straight to it.
If there's one thing that Star Wars has, it's awesome villains. Villains
True.
who are powerful, strong, intimidating, and dangerous. However, it's one thing for a villain to be strong, and it's another thing entirely for a villain to be scary. You can be a powerful villain and still be a total loser who I'd walk right up to in the street and ask how their day's going. So today, I'm going to be ranking every Star Wars villain based on how scary they are. The way this is going to work is I'm going to have a tier list with 6 tiers. The highest is Nightmare Fuel, which are the villains that make you wish you were never born. Next is Spooky Terrifying, which, are still pretty scary, but they won't cause your soul to leave your body. It's just like, wow, that's pretty creepy. Next is Please Call My Mommy, which are the villains that aren't super scary, but it's still kind of like, okay, someone please alert my mother that her son is a little bit creeped out right now. Fourth is Have You Tried Saying Boo? Like someone who's not really scary, but they're not lame either. It's kind of whatever. They're more in the middle, leaning a little bit towards the less scary side, I'd say. Fifth is Not Scary. This one is straightforward. It's just the villains that, no matter how powerful or strong they might be, just aren't that scary no matter how you slice it. Like, sorry to break it to you, you're just not that scary. And finally, we have This Is Pathetic. Like, get a job, little bro. Maybe you should try retail marketing or real estate or something, because you're not even close to being scary enough to make a day with this whole villain shtick. Let's be real here. So, without further ado, let's get into it. First up, we have Count Dooku, Darth Tyrannus himself. And now look, we all know that this guy is like the coolest villain in Star Wars.
Just saying that as a 9-year-old dude. I'm gonna be scared of most of these guys, but
fallen Jedi who turned away from the Order to gain knowledge of the dark side of the Force, who's also like the most skilled lightsaber duelist to ever walk into the final establishment that is Waffle House. He's for sure dangerous, but he's also really freaking old. Like, he is just an old guy. There's no other way to put it. And hey, I freaking... This is why you don't get a roommate in college, guys. This is why you live by yourself.
okay,
Because you get freaks. I've never seen this guy before.
You gotta wake me up.
As I was saying, I got nothing against old people. Elderly people, they're great. Nothing against them. But the thing about old people is they're not usually that scary. You know, as a rule, being elderly comes with deterioration of the body and mind. I believe the statistic is something like when you pass the age of 70, falling over has a 30% chance of requiring serious medical attention. And while that's obviously not good, we need to look out for our elderly. It also means that Christmas came early for me, because in my mind, all I gotta do is hit check Count Dooku when I pass him in the street, and there's like a 1 in 3 chance that I take him out. Look, I know Count Dooku is a fierce warrior who could crush me without moving a muscle, but is he particularly scary or intimidating? Not really. I will give him this though, he does have that elderly aura, where you do kind of look at him twice because he's so stoic and tall and formal and proper. And especially in the Clone Wars, this hair and beard style he's got going is a little creepy, so I'm gonna put him in the Have You Tried Saying Boo? Like, maybe...
Okay, personally for me, I do kind of agree, but not that of agreeing. So I put Count Dooku and Please Call My Mom.
a little work, he could be scarier, but as of right now, he's just not really out there. Next up, we got Kylo Ren, or Ben Solo, whatever, and this one is a little trickier. The real kicker here is whether or not he's wearing his mask. If you've watched this channel before, boys, then you know I've said before that Kylo Ren, as a villain, had real potential as maybe even a replacement for Darth Vader. Like, he had that aura, especially in The Force Awakens. Also, speaking of Darth Vader, I want to give a big shout out and thanks to my cousin James. He made me this Darth Vader mold. He 3D printed this, and it's really freaking sick, boys. He said one of his friends at school is a big fan of mine, and the friend does not believe that James is my cousin. I'm his cousin too. Let's get the comments saying thank you, James, for this beautiful Vader. Because isn't this thing tough, boys? I mean, am I crazy? This thing's aura. So, anyway, back to Kylo Ren. I always thought his mask was so freaking tough, especially when in The Rise of Skywalker, it had the burns fused onto it. That looks so freaking cool. So if I catch a glimpse of Kylo Ren walking down the street with his whole mask and cape shtick going on, then yeah, that's pretty scary. And plus, when he starts talking with that freaking voice modulator, he goes up a whole nother level. I am not messing with a guy who sounds this crisp.
Ooh woo, hey my little pog champs.
But the issue comes around when he decides to take his mask off. Cause now this is just kind of awkward. He's looking at me, I'm looking at him, I'm looking at his nose. He probably starts crying and whining, because he seems to do that a lot, especially in later sequels, and now I'm just uncomfortable. Now the whole mood is ruined and I'm sad. Now, credit where credit is due, he is a big guy. He's got some nice muscles. I think he was a Navy SEAL before he became an actor. But it's not really even an intimidating frame. It's more like a, alright buddy, I think you've bulked enough. Like spring's coming around, let's try cutting now frame. That's what he's got going on. I mean, the Ben Swallow meme is a meme for a reason. It just looks kind of goofy. Anyway, with the mask and cape and voice changer going on, I think I'd put Kylo Ren in, honestly, nightmare fuel. But without his mask, or shirt, I'd have to throw him in, honestly, please call my mommy. So let's average those two things out, with the mask, without the mask, and the shirt, and put him in spooky terrifying. I think that's pretty fair. In this ranking video, I'm trying to focus more on some of the bigger villains that are a little more prominent and important to the story. So, sorry to dash your hopes, but Battle Droid Commander 47 and that one Stormtrooper from Rebels will unfortunately not be included in this video. However, the lowest I will stoop is probably to this next villain, Newt Gunray, who isn't exactly stealing the limelight very often, but I'm confident that most of you watching know who he is, and he gets a nice little bit of screen time in both the prequels and the Clone Wars. When it comes to scariness, this guy is about as terrifying as they come.
Isn't that illegal?
I think I'm gonna have to throw him in nightmare fuel for obvious reasons. No. For real, this guy's probably a top 10 most pathetic villain in Star Wars. What a freaking loser. He's like a banking CEO, which, like, right off the rip is not particularly intimidating. And he's always wearing this ceremonial dress or something. This is what his Lego character looks like. When your Lego character includes a dress for you, you know that you don't got that aura. And most importantly, he's a bug-eyed worm freak with a shriveled up head. What are we talking about? This is pathetic. This guy is not an intimidating, scary villain. Right to the bottom. Now we're on to Jango Fett, and Jango Fett's whole shtick is that he's the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. But no matter how skilled or impressive he is, there's something too sleek to the bottom. Now we're on to Jango Fett. He's a bug-eyed worm freak with a shriveled up head. What are we talking about? This is pathetic.
Yeah, I agree with him. This is pathetic.
Guy is not an intimidating, scary villain. Right to the bottom. Now we're on to Jango Fett, and Jango Fett's whole shtick is that he's the best bounty hunter in the galaxy. But no matter how skilled or impressive he is, there's something too sleek, too clean about him to really be scary. True scariness in a villain almost requires some element of disorder, of passion. And Jango's design is too cool. Like, it's too manufactured. Like, yeah, he's a faceless warrior, and that's definitely intimidating, but personally, I low-key thinks his armor looks less scary than the average stormtroopers. Plus, the color design he's got going isn't exactly scary either. It's like blue and silver, which is sleek and cool, don't get me wrong, but it's not really scary. Boba Fett's colors are a little scarier with like the mottled green and brown, but if you want to see some real armor, the only place to look is a fella like Gar Saxon. Now, that is a tough fit. With the red and the black and those horns and that red-orange visor, this is scary. But armor aside, both Boba and Jango are tested warriors who are pretty intimidating, and they do got an arsenal at their disposal. I mean, seeing that missile on their jetpack would put the fear of God in my heart. I mean, when's the last time you walked down the street and saw a fellow with a missile on his back? I think the last time that happened to me, I pissed my pants. I think I'd put both of them in probably Please Call My Mommy. They'd give me a little bit of a fright. But nothing more than that, I don't think.
Okay, so I do not agree. I think Jango Fett should go in Spooky Terrifying, and I think Boba Fett should go in Nightmare Fuel. That's all I'm saying.
But while we're on the subject of bounty hunters, let's talk about the cream of the crop, Cad Bane. That's why he's the GOAT! First of all, that name? Magnificent, especially because he chose it himself. We saw in Tales of the Empire that Cad Bane's old name was Colby. Colby? Was it Colby or Kobe? I don't know, something like that. Cad Bane is scary in the same way that Rattlesnake Jake from Rango is scary. Like, you see this guy on the street with his red eyes and sharp teeth, and you realize that he would kill you with his bare hands in a heartbeat. And plus the cowboy hat, pure toughness. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's a certifiable fact that without it, you don't have to take him anywhere near as seriously. I mean, the man is bald.
Oh my god.
I like to think that Dave Filoni and them were in a design room at some point, and they are trying to figure out how to make Cad Bane cooler, and some unpaid intern from Berkeley or something muttered under his breath, maybe cover up that Megamind looking head with a cowboy hat, and Dave Filoni heard it and, fired the intern for having a better idea than anyone else. Obviously, they gotta do that. But then he also added the hat, so it was a net positive. Anyway, when you take into account that Cad Bane might have the creepiest voice in the galaxy, a terrifying drawl that has the nails on chalkboard effect, the hello there, little lady. Well, I'm not Cad Bane, boys. He can do it better than I can.
Well, hello there, little lady.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd get those goosebumps every time if I were walking down a dark alley and I saw Cad Bane behind me. However, I will say, I did not care for them making his hat small in Bad Batch. I did not think that was a good design for him. But that is neither here nor there. Throw Cad Bane into nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
Next up is Asajj Ventress, the hairless harpy from the Clone Wars. But before we get to her, boys, I'd really appreciate it if you take a second and smash that subscribe button. If you're this far in the video, I know you're probably enjoying it. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It's free, it helps me out, it helps you out.
Already did.
And a large percentage of people who watch my videos aren't actually subscribed. So do me a favor, just check to see if you are. If you're not, turn that red button red. Okay, guys, now let's get back to Asajj Ventress.
Oh wait, yeah, subscribe to me. Subscribe to him and me.
Would I call Ventress a scary character? I don't know, dude. Her name is freaking Ventress. That sure sounds pretty scary to me. A name like Dooku, as in like, oh, that dog just Dooku'd all over the floor. That doesn't exactly strike fear into my heart. But when her name is Ventress, that is demon material for sure. Plus, you add on the fact that she's completely bald, which is not exactly a good fashion statement, to be honest, but boy is it creepy. I mean, just compare Bad Batch Ventress with the Zoomer Gen Z short haircut to the Clone Wars Walter White treatment. One of these is scary, one of these looks like they need to start uploading TikToks immediately.
I'll be crying if I look like that too, bro. That's f***ed up what they be doing to y'all.
I mean, that one scene in Clone Wars where she guts the clone trooper, kisses him on the cheek, and then drops him to the ground? Oh, freak that, bro. That's terrifying. Now, I will say, she is like a small, thin, lanky woman, so that does kind of take away from her intimidation factor a little bit. And I'm not saying she's not scary, but I'm saying if you gave me 2 rooms, one with Ventress in it, one with Savage Opress in it, I'm not going into the Savage Opress room. I got a better shot of survival if I go with Ventress. That's just how it is. Because Savage Opress got that, like, I don't even know, man. He just got that build. So, sorry, no shot she's making nightmare fuel. I think I'm torn between spooky terrifying and please call my mommy. You know what? I'll give the devil her due. Spooky terrifying it is.
Yep,
and plus, I forgot she gets that mask later on during the Ahsoka framed arc in the Clone Wars.
Scary.
That thing is definitely creepy and also really cool. So yeah, put her up there. The next villain we have is a feared crime lord, known for his power and influence, who holds the life of thousands in his hands. And it's Jabba the Hutt. It's Jabba the Hutt. Alright. We know that Jabba isn't that scary, but let's consider a few things. First, Jabba has dozens of the most skilled assassins and bounty hunters at the tip of his fingers, any of whom would kill you in a heartbeat. Second, Jabba himself is actually enormous. Like, if he were 3 feet tall, then it'd be kind of funny, but look at him in reference to Princess Leia. He's, like, actually huge. Third, he's crafty. He didn't get to this position by accident. He's a powerful man, creature, slug, thing. And that brings me to my 4th point. Throw everything I just said out the window. This is a giant booger we're talking about. Jabba can barely move, let alone jump you in a dark alleyway. I don't care how many hitmen he has at his disposal. Riddle me this. What is Jabba gonna do to me if I start to walk away from him at a medium pace? Yell at me in a different language? I don't even have to listen to him, because I don't speak Huttese. Checkmate, clanker. And I hear some of you out there saying stuff like, but Jedward, he's a powerful crime lord. He's in charge of so many. Silence. Talk to me when the villain in question doesn't have slime dribbling out of his mouth like a toddler. Talk to me then. But while we're on the topic of unintimidating Star Wars villains, allow me to ask you a question. Who amongst you would call Reva a scary villain? Let's see a show of hands out there. Yeah, interesting. Now, while I couldn't physically see a single hand, I'm sure that there weren't many up there, let's just say. Yeah, maybe Chuck's waving his hand out there, or Steve thinks that Reva is as terrifying as they come, but in general, I'd bet my roommate Cole's collection of video games that most of you don't think Reva is scary. And believe me, Cole's got a freaking lot of video games, I swear. Every day I walk in and see him playing a new one. He swears they're old games, he swears it's his favorite game of all time that he's been playing since he was 4 years old. I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all, Cole. I know darn well you're buying new games. Anyway, what possible reason is there to be scared of Reva? Is her name tough? Does she look particularly scary? Does she get whooped by a simple Tatooine farmer with a hunk of metal? See, I'm not exactly reading in the stars what I should be scared by. What about her is intimidating? Even Princess Leia, a 9-year-old girl, successfully rage-baited her into deciding to torture her. Bruh. Look, Blood, if a 9-year-old girl doesn't think you're scary, that's just embarrassing. Let's pack it up. What's even funnier is comparing Reva to any of the other Inquisitors in Star Wars. Like, oh, you got Mr. Ghoulface over here with his sickly pale face and this cool hat, and you got this lady who looks like she's a Black Widow made human with his creepy spider-like persona, and you got the Grand Inquisitor with his sharp teeth. Oh my God. And you got Reva. Yeah, you're kind of there's no easy way to say this. You're not on the team. Like, take a seat over here, big dog. This is low-key sad. Have you considered looking into finance? Have you considered looking into marketing? Because villainy, scary villainy, might not be your strong suit. Yep, this is pathetic. Finally, we have Darth Maul.
Agreed. What is it?
Villainy, scary villainy, might not be your strong suit. Yep, this is pathetic. Finally, we have Darth Maul.
Oh.
Are you looking at me? I think we all know what the freaking answer is. It's Darth Maul we're talking about. Let's not be coy here. We all know darn well what the answer is going to be. We know what it's been since we started this tier list. Alright, boys, take a gander. This is the final tier list, ranking the scariest villains in Star Wars. Let me know if you agree or disagree and why. If this video does well, then you'll probably see a part 2, but if not, you ain't never seeing this again, so we'll have to wait and see. But if you like tier lists, you need to watch this video right here. This video right here is a great tier list I made. It's very popular. A lot of people like it. It's a little long, but I think you'll really enjoy it.
Okay, so now I'm gonna show y'all my own tier list. This is my tier list. You can pause to look at it. Bye bye. Peace out.